It's a bright and sunny day here in Bowmanville, Ontario, as we're about to crack open the dawn of the 2022-2023 Hololive GT3 International Series. Like we mentioned, it's the dawn of the new era. It's the dawn of this racing series. We've seen the Japan series come and go from March to August. We've seen cars racing in Japan, and now we're going to expand it to basically worldwide, racing in tracks across the world, from Canada to Brazil to Indonesia to Australia and many more. But first, we're going to be taking a look into the maiden round of the season here in Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. So we're looking at a track in nearly 4 kilometers in length, 2.5 miles almost in length, 10 quarters in total, lap count a whopping 51 laps. We did mention that we'll be running a new format of races, 200 kilometers of racing and a large fuel tank slightly to allow for strategy to play a hand in this racing here. Also mentioned that this track is located in Bowmanville, Ontario, Canada, which is actually Kronii's home race for this year's International Series schedule. Let's note that Kronii had stated, to our knowledge, that she is Canadian, and it's not just Maurice Tremblay's home race, it's also Evan Fuller's home race, and they're about to tackle their home track, which is basically their only home track of the series schedule. We also want to talk about the stream start time. We're basically 5 minutes ahead of schedule, so we've already covered that one. And speaking of which, we'll be taking a look into the entry list for a while. Here we see multiple drivers here entering for this race. Here we see Aziz Wasif in the number 64 Ayuda Risu Honda, Maurice Tremblay in number 69 Yoshida Makuna Honda, obviously one of the first of 2 drivers here to race in their home races. Keishon in the Ironio 15 Nissan number 15. Even there we have Jason Fisher in the number 13 Crazy Ollie Nissan. And then we have Emerson Kurt in the number 12 Anya Melfissa Lexus. And then we have Raymond Pavo Rene Honda number 01. Kay Garcia, former driver in the Japan series, sub in for Brendan Conley and eventually replaced by Jake D. Fox in Japan series. Now she drives the number 03 Vestia Zeta Nissan. And then we have Monica Shalage, close mate to Sean Pauli, also the VTubers in a server nearby. Number 58, Kyle Kowalska Lexus she represents. And then we have Evan Fuller, the other Canadian here in Hololive GT3 International, representing Kobokanaeru. Evan Fuller is looking to try to make things work. And then we have Aaron Mazzi, Iris Nissan, number 16. And then we'll be taking a look into the Hall of Myth drivers. Mohamed Cashew in the number 4 Mori Calliope Nissan, Lexus, number 4 car. And then we have Mariam Morris in number 15 Takanashi Kiara Lexus as well. Jeremy Asim in the Indomai in Nissan number 17. Brendan McCauley in the Gagura Nissan number 99. And then we have Sandy Olivares in the Watson Amelia Honda, representing Emilio Watson in the number 88. And then we'll be talking about the remaining cars in the field. Brooke Lurch in the number 85. Sarah Fauna Lexus kicking off the Hall of Council section. And then we have Carolina Vieira da Silva representing Kronii. Despite Kronii, actually Kronii is stated to be Canadian, so watch out for her. As Carolina Vieira da Silva will want to bring home a home win for Kronii, and she states that she's Canadian. Mercer Lado, number 61 Shimume Honda, and Don DeRock in the number 86 Tacos Bales Nissan. And that rounds out the 19 drivers here into the field. And as we're about to transition over into the race, we welcome on board everyone here into the stream. We welcome everyone here with open arms. And we're about to get this qualifying session underway. I'm Mama Shadi Reza in the commentary booth, and alongside me is none other than future Hololive GT3 Japan Series competitor, who's also going to be representing Hakui Koyori later on, Zeke Wimberly. So Zeke, as we're about to get this qualifying session underway, I would like to hear your thoughts heading into the session.
Very interesting race coming up. I believe first official race of the series. We'll see what happens as of current, but as of races haven't really started yet, so I'll pick up from there.
Okay, so we're looking into the first 2 drivers out on track here in qualifying here. Monica Shalagit looking good there in the number 58 Kayla Kowalskia Lexus. Obviously, we also want to mention here that this round also counts towards the Hololive English Championship, or is that Hololive English Cup? But whatever the case is, 10 drivers will also race here, which is basically the 10 drivers who are in the what you call international series, who are in the Hololive English class. The first of them being Marcel Ado here. Now, their points scored here will not only count towards the international series point standings, but will also count towards the Hololive English Cup. So if let's say Marcel Ado wins this race, he will take over the championship lead in both the international series point standing and also the basically the Hololive English Cup point standings. I'm taking a look at some of the other few drivers here on this racetrack here in Canada.
Oh shoot. Evan Fuller, home race, Canada. What should be very interesting as he is racing on his homeland. Watch out for him. Distracted a little too well. With that, Maurice Tremblay, also Canadian. Will the two have rivalry, or maybe they'll work something out between them? I don't know.
Well, as right now we'll be taking a look at Evan Fuller's lap here. We're about to go on board just a bit into turn 1 here. You keep yourself informed. We mentioned here that Mosport is a high-speed circuit, so you want to try to carry as much speed as you can. Goes a bit wide there, Evan. Into turn 3. Let's see how far much he will downshift. He actually downshifted into 3rd gear, so don't know if it's going to be beneficial for him. Into basically the Moss hairpin. He takes it easy there in turn 4. He maybe carries too much speed there, and now you will have to hit the brakes very hard into the double apex hairpin. That is the Moss corner. Into Mario Andretti straightaway, so very long straight. This is what a Nissan it has their advantage over. You know, the Nissan have massive straight line speed, but ours is about in the corners. So the advantage is at the straight line, and the disadvantage there is in the corners. So heading into the S's, this is where we see the Lexus cars really flourish here. Lexus cars really bite in the corners, but of course this will take an effect for extra tire wear. And into the final turn, Evan Fuller. Where will his lap time stand amongst everyone else? Evan Fuller sets 5th fastest, so not a bad job for Fuller as he places his car into the top 5.
Yeah, 5th place is always a handy place to be, even if it is the qualifying, as those starting positions are very, very important going on, as a nice starting position could potentially win you the race, or maybe we just disregard it entirely and someone comes out nowhere, like last season's finale, actually.
Correct. As you may have noted in the Japan Series season finale, as with every other race, basically track position is absolutely important. With a very good track position, you are able to basically you are basically able to make use of what you call the position that you have at the moment. If you are at the front, you're likely to stay at the front with your fast pace right now. You'll be able to, oh, look at Kate Garcia. Oh dear, Kate Garcia has had quite a shot there. I think she's made contact with someone. We're going to be taking a look here, as we're going to need to pause the session for a while to see what is going on with Kate Garcia. Hang on, we're going to need to take a basically short intermission to see what happened to the 03 car as the Zeta car of basically Evan Fuller crashes out in qualifying. I want to see what has absolutely happened here. So we're going to be taking a look into the moment Kate Garcia gets out into here's the car in turn 1. As you see Kate Garcia. Oh, you can see there Muhammad Cashew really going to try to make a move. Then Cashew gets into a dive bomb. Oh, there's basic contact. Oh, and both of the cars spun off. Oh, that's a massive incident. Oh, as you can see there, Kate Garcia gets her car to slam into the wall, and also Muhammad Cashew being warped into the underworld for some reason. Of course, he represents Mori Calliope, but that's an interesting happening here in qualifying. As we're about to get the qualifying session back underway, of course, with the Zeta car basically stranded here, as you can see, Olivar's nearly getting his car punted. And meanwhile, at the same time, the two-car race has gone underway. Okay. What a interesting incident here between Garcia and Cashew. Meanwhile, Cashew qualifies 5th.
Truly interesting, to say the least. It clipped into like the underworld, which I'm guessing they're doing a fix there. But more importantly, as of current, the gaps are decently spread out, so I don't think anyone's going to be making a move anytime soon, at least in last, unless Olivares decides to sneak up on Mozart.
And looking into the lap times here right now, Mozif is not far behind. Of course, his first points paying outing in Hololive GT3. And you can see Mozif not really fast at the moment, neither does Olivares. Meanwhile, Cashews is still down there in the underworld, still has their 5th fastest lap time. Assam puts himself into 12th. Evan Fuller sets himself back up to 12th place, so good job from the hometown boy. Speaking of the other hometown boy, in the number 69 Hoshinova Munahana, Maurice Tremblay qualifies 7th, so very good job from him. But look at Carolina Vieira da Silva. Da Silva basically is now in 3rd place right now, which is the highest placed car, who is tied to a Canadian. And that Canadian is actually listed as Kronii, but whatever the case is, Da Silva has put in a very good lap there herself to place herself onto the first few spots on the grid.
Yeah, well, I believe that this is Kronii's true hometown race. I believe that she performs just maybe like a tiny bit better or something, but yeah, she is in 3rd right now as of current. I believe she could hold that position if she tried.
Okay, so that is currently the first portion of the qualifying session concluded. We're about to get into the halfway portion of the lengthened qualifying session. This is to allow drivers to basically cool themselves down and try to have a second chance in setting a faster lap. We did mention about the lap time targets. Well, it's currently being hammered down by Marion Morris, 1:15.091. So, chat, we would like to hear your thoughts on who will be the favorites to win this race. But right now, the money is on Marion Morris and Brooklyn, who have won the previous Hololive GT3 International Series race, the Invitational race at Suzuka. Brooklyn also doing a very fine job here in 2nd place. As you can see here, Marion Morris actually taking up the slipstream there to Brooklers. Let's see if Morris can get pace advantage by making use of the toe admitted by Brooke Lurs, but Brooke is actually gonna put up a fight. Oh, and there's a bit of a contact. Oh, and a massive slam into the wall. Oh, and another incident, and now Marion Morris gets into the underworld.
Oh my God, it's a repetition. This high-speed track just cannot deal with any aggressiveness today. That is, I believe, 4 participants out of the running of the qualifying. I believe. Let's just hope it doesn't, go into the main meat of the races after the qualifying.
So Brooklers is out, Morris is down there, and also Cashew's down there. And looking into the grid right now, Marion Morris, despite crashing out of qualifying, will still start on pole with a blisteringly hot lap time of 1:15.091. Brooklyn's not far behind. Of course, Brooklyn, who was a previous winner here in the International Series in the Invitational at Suzuka. And actually, if we look at the top 6 positions, the top 6 positions are basically Lexus cars. The highest Honda is Maurice Tremblay in 7th, and Keishon is the fastest descent. So we also want to mention that the Lexus cars are basically sitting ducks on the straightaway because they have not much engine power compared to, let's say, the Nissan and Hondas. But with the cornering agility with the Lexus cars have, we might see them make it up in the corners. Meanwhile, Jason Fisher just sets a good lap time there, 15th place, as we mentioned with the Lexus. Fast in the corners, slow on the straights, but eats up a good amount of tires. And with 6 Lexus cars in the top 6, how many of them will remain in the top 5, you reckon?
I don't really want to pick who's going to be in the top 5, as Hololive GT3, as you've seen, has been very, very sudden and sometimes downright absurd, but Morris is probably keeping his first place lap time. I think everything's going to stay the same for the most part.
Okay. So, okay. Okay, so basically, we're looking at the Lexus cars. The slowest Lexus car, Monica Shalage, is a second. Is a second behind Mary Morris's lap time, so it's a 1:16.1, and the fastest Honda is Maurice Tremblay, 1.5 seconds behind Mary Morris. So there is a pace discrepancy between the Lexus, Nissan, and Honda, but it's racing. Some of the cars will be faster than the other on certain racetracks. But for example, with the high-speed corners that Mosport provides, the Lexus car will have the best pace here in this racetrack. So chat, I would like to hear your thoughts. Basically, share us what you think of this qualifying session so far. Light up the charts in the chat room. We want to hear your thoughts of this qualifying session as we're into the final 5 minutes of the qualifying session. Meanwhile, we're taking a look into Jason Fisher. Apparently, they don't record what you call sector times, but we'll try to check it out from here. Okay, Garcia already has set some decent lap time here, and now Raymond Pavo gets up to 15, beating out Jason Fisher. So Raymond Pavo, ooh, as you can see here, Raymond Pavo getting a bit sluggish there off of a few turns here, is now under pressure there from the Silva, who is definitely hungry for lap time. Oh, takes up a bit of a curve there, going a bit of a racing session here between Raymond Pavo and Carolina de Silva. Silva into turn 4, into the Moss hairpin. Let's see who will win out in the end. Will de Silva be greedy on the curbs? Not quite. De Silva will have inside light. Actually, she got greedy on the curbs. Oh, it's two blue cars going up and over and collects Jeremy Assam. That's the second, that's another Lexus car who had a bit of a trouble in qualifying. So that's Carolina de Silva's qualifying session over. So that's more shenanigans here in qualifying. That's already, if I'm not mistaken, 4 Lexus cars who got into a bit of a mess here in qualifying. So again, we mentioned that the Hololive GT3 series has been pretty wacky. They're currently living up to those expectations so far.
Truly interesting spectacle to see, as that was absolutely mental right there, where just pushed into like the wall after being flipped over. Okay, that was.
And the upside down number 96 was literally above the 01 car. That is another thing we need to pay attention. Imagine what you call Oro Kronii on top of a Volta Rainier. Imagine. Well, that has happened that just happened recently.
I don't necessarily, I can't necessarily imagine it as occurred, but I'll try to keep that in mind.
Okay, note that as well. Also, Monica Shalage has now bumped Mohamed Cashew down to 6. Shalage is now inside the top 5. But look at Santi Olivares, a lap time from out of nowhere, from basically 18th place to 9th. So very solid lap there for Santi Olivares. This is why we had this extended qualifying session. So we'll have a surprise, and we have someone who is in this, who's going to try to bring it something up a surprise. And Santi Olivares is now inside the top 10 in qualifying. After basically having a subpar first portion of the qualifying session, Olivares now qualifies in the top 10.
Remember, good lap times. You just gotta try your best, and somehow you can make it. Like, I believe Olivares, last I checked, was about 18th, and then he doubled his standing up to 9th. I believe, which is
that was in the invitational race, and he basically started way back, but manages to nail his strategy and basically pass a few cars one by one who have had aging tires. So Santi Olivares really showing his medal here, representing Watson Amelia, the time traveler. Of course, she's a favorite amongst many people in the Hololive community. And looking into Mary Morris, still in the underworld, with Wama Cashew, Takamori, both in the underworld. So, can we just say it's a coincidence? I don't think so.
I think, you know what, I was gonna say a really bad ground with Watson and Amelia's car, but I just decided not to do that. So yeah, I think it's the basically the final lap, 6 seconds left.
Correct.
And qualifying is
well, qualifying looks to have been concluded. We're looking into the final guys who will be completing the lap times. Will Brandon McConnelly get himself in the top 10 representing Gaugura and be closer to Santi Olivares? Basically an Amis Same combo. Not quite for McConnelly. Looking into a few other drivers here, looking into Eric Massey getting into the final turns and has decided to get himself back into pits. Jason Fisher gets himself into the pits as well. Olivares into the final turns, into the S. And to Emerson Kerr, we're going to be paying attention to Emerson Kerr. Looking to Santi Olivares. Santi Olivares will also get himself back into the pits. Emerson Kerr, where will he be at the final turns? Emerson Kerr will also peel into the pits. That's basically qualifying session concluded. We're going to be transitioning over into the race. That's basically the qualifying session concluded after 4 Lexus cars getting to a bit of a kerfuffle, a kertangle, if you want to call them that. So yeah, that's basically the qualifying session concluded. So I want to hear your thoughts, Zeke, about the qualifying session as we're about to get the starting lineup underway.
Needless to say, that was truly an experience as like I'd say about like a fourth of the cars went to battle, and all of them kind of did not turn out okay, which was truly interesting. We'll see if we can see that level of aggressiveness within the actual race.
Yeah, so basically we have a new format on our hands. Gone are the days of 2 races in 1 round. It's now 1 long race in 1 round, as we'll be taking a look about the pole sitter, Marion Morris in the number 50 Takanashi Kiara Lexus on the front row. Brooklers, previous race winner in Suzuka, qualified second in the Ceres Fauna Lexus. Carolina de Silva in the number 96 Kronii Lexus qualifies third. Emerson Kerr, one of the few trouble-free Lexus cars. Anya Mafisa, representative in 4th place. Monica Shalage, 5th in the Kaila Kowalski Lexus. It will be starting 5th. Muhammad Cashew qualifies 6th in what you could say this is a perfect Lexus qualifying session with all 6 Lexus cars on the first 3 rows on the grid. Muhammad Cashew in the number 4 Mori Calliope Lexus will qualify 6th. Maurice Tremblay, number 69 Hoshinova Muna Honda, will qualify 7th in the fastest Honda. Keishan, the fastest Nissan. Ironio 50 Nissan will qualify 8th. Santi Olivares surprises us all with a surprising qualifying lap. Representing Watson Amelia, he qualifies 9th. Marcelo Do, Nanashi Mume Honda qualifies 10th. And then we have a Nissan trend from 11 to 15. Aaron Mazzi in the number 16 Iris Nissan qualifies 11th. Brent McCauley, number 99 Gogura Nissan, qualifies 12th. Evan Fuller in his home race will start the race in 13th in the number 54 Kobo Kanairu Nissan. Kate Garcia in the Vestia Zeta Nissan qualifies 14th. Sorry, Jeremy Assam is the one who qualifies 14th in the number 17 in the Nissan. We apologize. Kate Garcia was the one qualifying 15th in the numbers 03 Vestia Zeta Nissan. And then Raymond Pavel 16th in the number 01 Pavolia Rene Honda. Jason Fisher 17th in the number 13 Crazy Ollie Nissan. We would like to thank Crazy Ollie for supporting Call of GT3. Don Rock 18th in the number 86 Hackles Bales Nissan. And last on the grid is Aziz Wasif in the Hyundai Risu Honda, so that's one we need to pay attention to. So chat, we would like everyone here to basically tell us your favorites to win this race, on who's going to win it and who's going to bin it, as we'll be taking a look into basically 19 cars lined up on the grid. So as we're about to get this race underway, Zeke, I want to hear your thoughts.
If Olivares can pull like another wonder like he did last time, I believe Olivares could definitely possibly take up a very, very good position in this race at least maybe 6th to 5th or something.
Okay.
Or maybe even more than that. Truly, this will be very, very interesting, especially with how bizarre the qualifying round was last.
Okay, so we have Emerson Kurt, basically Lexus driver, talking about how he will want to see the Takamori cars get into a podium finish again. Basically, the Takamori cars finished second and third in the Suzuka Invitational. As we're about to get this race underway, 51 laps of racing here, with Mario Morris on pole position. Brookles is alongside him, and the race gets underway for the first time. In the points-paying race in the Hololive GT3 International Series, Mario Morris has a very decent start. Look at Brookles there, trying to make a move. And then we'll be taking a look at some of the drivers here as they're all going to circumnavigate here into the first few turns. Some dirt kicking up onto the track. As cars go off track. More drivers getting off track here. You can see a lot of drivers jostling for position there. A lot of drivers going off track. If they're in the tarmac, they are still fair play. Everyone is still looking very decently here. Asim's now up to 13th place. Mario Morris holds on to the race lead. Brookles is in second. The Silva third. Kurt fourth. Cashew fifth. And looking at Shilaki in sixth. And you can see Sean has overtaken Tremblay for seventh. Asim is now looking to fight for more. Get to gain a few more position. Look at this. Conley's now up into 10th place. Olivares is now dropped down to 11th. It's another Ame-Same battle here. McCauley and Olivares battling for supremacy between the two. And it looks like Brandon McCauley has the upper hand.
We'll see where this leads to. It could be, at least to me, anyone's battle at this race, seeing as it is still the early pits of the race. And as the race progresses, as you know, the gaps get... Oh, Fuller! Or took a bit of curve right there, still went up and again. Very reckless driving going on.
Reckless driving, but what an amazing save there for Evan Fuller to catch the car. Usually if you hit the curb that hard, you're going to be spinning into the wall, but he manages to keep the car safe. So that's a very good drive there from Evan to keep the car in one piece and to keep the car pointing on the racetrack. Great driving there for Evan Fuller. Yes, it may be reckless, but it's still fair play as now Wawasif picks off Fisher for 18th place, so Fisher is now in last place. And Brookles in second place, losing touch to Mario Morris, who has now built up a second gap over second place, and the Silva is hungry for position.
The Silva could potentially catch up to Brookles, I believe. And Morris seems to be very, very comfy in his first place. I think he can keep that for a little while now. Anyway, I would just like to say, Fuller, you did some awesome saving back there, like, and Shazman said, yeah.
Meanwhile, we're taking a look into some of the more battles. Here's more contact between Brookles and Carolina da Silva. And looking into the battle here, Brookles has not put himself out of shape, but manages to keep the car. They basically battle side by side until the bitter end into the final few turns. The Silva comes off better, Brookles comes off worse, and now Brookles with some tons of damage and has now broken the Lexus stranglehold with Keishon now up to 6. So basically, Brookles kind of spoiled the party for the Lexus part, for basically the team Lexus.
I'd like to check out the damages more, detailed, as that car looks very, very scratched up. Is it just surface damage, though? Is basically what I'm asking.
And right now, the damage is quite real there. You could be having basically performance issues. Your car will not be gripping as much on the track. The Lexus's advantage is the corners, and with that damage, he cannot grip as much in the corners. And this will impact his performance in the race. It's now going to be... Oh, and Wazif and Fisher makes contact between each other. Oh, and Wazif gets himself lost. And that's him out of the race. And Fisher continues on. He basically makes contact with Aziz Wazif. Our first DNF of the Hololive GT3 International Series season will go to Aziz Wazif. Unfortunate stuff there from the Malaysian, as we see another battle here between, I believe, some field drivers, and that's it. Wazif is now out of the race.
Okay, I don't know what in the world happened over there. There was a collision or anything. I'm guessing it was a collision, and if it was, Fisher is the murderer. But it seems that this battle of, I believe, never.
Yes. We also want to mention here that Shape is also tuning in, so welcome Shape to the stream. We would like to wish that you will be able to join us in the commentary booth, but given that you are unable to, we will understand about that given the circumstances that we have at the moment with regards to the Great Britain and the Queen. So we would like to allow Shape to basically take some time to have some space while he basically recoups with the loss of the Queen. Meanwhile, back under the racing here, Racefield Monitor, who will be pitting first and who will be pitting last, who will be coming into the one stop and who will be coming into a two stop. So Brooklyn will be one of the few drivers who will be coming into a two stop strategy, as we'll be taking a look into Adak-RMS now side by side with Santi Olivares. Will Santi Olivares take a lot of curve? Yes, Olivares does. Nearly pushes off wide there. Adak-RMS, and now the Silva was sending a fast lap with the race. Mazzi is now up to 11. Meanwhile, if we take a look into the Racefield Monitor, Brooklers will be filled to the brim. So he'll be coming to one stop strategy. Another battle here, Emerson Kerr and Mohamed Cashew. Emerson Kerr has the inside line there into basically Quebec corner. But now Cashew has the inside line into Quebec. Cashew has to take a lot of the inside line there into turn 3 and into turn 4 there. Emerson Kerr now up to 3rd place. Cashew knows a Takamori podium finish could be up for grabs. So he tried to make a move around the inside of Emerson Kerr on board the number 4. Or Calliope Lexus hops on the curb way too much. He gets way too greedy on the curb. That's what you do not have to do. That's what you can do here is to be greedy, way too greedy. And now it's Emerson Kerr's 3rd place representing Anya Melfissa.
I also am seeing a little bit of damage even before he hit the curve. A lot really scratched up car. I wonder what happened before then, but more importantly, Kerr snagged himself for a place, and there's a mini battle happening.
More battles happening here. Brooklers, takes out way too much curve and has basically hit Brendan McConley, and now he has not put, and now looking at Brendan McCall, he has paid the favors back to Brooklers. So Brooklers is losing touch to everyone in front. When we said how damage basically affects your performance in a negative way, this is what we've been fearing for Brooklers, who is now falling down like a rock in terms of race positions.
Brooklers got absolutely the short end of the stick over there, but maybe he'll pull it out. Maybe there will be some catastrophe back in the boot rows, or maybe even the front row, so we can bump up a position or two. But seeing as it is still the early portions of the race, only on lap 6 at the moment.
So hang on before we allow you to continue. Evan Full will be looking to commit to a 2-stop strategy, as does Mohamed Cashew. So these will be the first 2 drivers who will be committing to the pit-stop strategy first. The rest will be on a touch-and-go strategy, as in either they will be committing to a 2-stop or 1-stop. We will have to wait and see. We'll see another battle here between Mohamed Cashew and Emerson Kerr. 4 versus 12. Warren Calliope versus Anya Melfissa. They're still side by side. Now Emerson Kerr bangs doors with Mohamed Cashew. They're battling neck and neck, door to door. Emerson Kerr is now being pushed off wide. Mohamed Cashew is going to try to fight for that Takamori 1-3 podium finish. And looks like Mohamed Cashew has the upper hand.
It seems that Cashew banging up doors occurred really messed him up, at least I believe, in terms of speed and traction. Therefore, he got the upper hand over there, happily sitting in 3rd. Very interesting. Cashew, a lot of banged up cars I see this race. Very interesting to see that. I can even see, you can see on Cashew's car there's a little bit of change.
So looking into basically the drivers here at the moment, Keyshawn's currently in 6th place, highest place in Nissan. Brendan McCauley not far behind in 7th. Now, if we want to talk about the live standings here in the Hololive English Championship, the Hololive English Cup, Marion Morris, De Silva, and Cashew will make it the top 3 positions. And then Keyshawn will be 4th, and Brendan McCauley will be 5th in the Hololive English Cup, as only the English class drivers will be counted towards the championship, which is the Hololive English Cup. Meanwhile, in the ID class, Emerson Kerr is leading in the ID class, leading all the Hololive Indonesia cars. So Emerson Kerr still has a race to fight for.
Can probably take this home for Indonesia. He just has to go fight his little rival Cashew over there, and then maybe the rest is smooth sailing. The race is still young, as I've said at least the third time today, but we'll see how Kurt responds to Cashew.
Okay, looking into the lap times here, we're going to be taking a look into the timetable. Unfortunately, we can only look into below the top 10. So, looking into the gaps right now, Kurt is only basically less than a second behind Cashew. So he is catching up just a tad bit as the race is calming down just a little bit here at the moment. Looking at McCauley is looking to fight basically Sean for 6th place. Brookless having a massive damage on that front end. Even the windshield is cracked. You don't see much damage on this part of the car. As you can see here, a bird's eye view, a good see in the house. Actually, no, we would like to apologize that there is no windscreen cracks, but there is a massive amount of damage on Brooklers as Emerson Kurt 117.550 catches at the fastest lap time than Crimson Kurt on last lap. 117.679 for Monica Shalagis. That's her personal best lap time of the session so far. Tremblay is catching up to Brooklyn just a bit as Brooklyn is falling down like a rock.
I wouldn't say he's falling down like a rock. He's managed to hold A for what I believe is about 3 laps now, but that could certainly change very soon as you said, Maurice Tremblay is catching up very somewhat quickly. So you should watch your back with this probably.
Okay, forget the part where he's falling down like a rock. Forget the part. As you can see here, Brooklyn is now back in contention for at least 7th and 6th. McConley is being held up there by K-Sean. K-Sean is losing touch there to Monica Shalage. As the race really comes down here, we're about to reach 20% of the race distance. And we'll be taking a look into the battles further back. Aaron Mazzi there holding on to 11th place, but we're looking at Santi Olivares. Not much of a battle here at the moment. We are seeing some Nissans and Hondas battle it out for position. Mosif is unfortunately out of the race entirely after basically a collision with Jason Fisher. It said that Mosif took a lot of curve into the inside of the Moss hairpin, loses his car, and then basically damaged his car. I believe it's his suspension. Oh, looking at Aaron Mazzi there, trying to challenge Mercer Ludo. They're now side by side into turn 2, who will be having the edge. And looking at how Aaron Mazzi can try to bring that momentum. Let's see if he can make a dive bomb into Quebec corner. Not quite close enough there for Aaron Mazzi, but okay, back into the story. Basically, Jason Fisher as Mozzie took up way too much gear on the second portion of the Moss hairpin, loses the car and damages the suspension, and that forces him out of the race. So we only have 18 cars left in this race. And looking into race wheel monitor, Evan Fuller will be pitting sometime soon. Also with Kate Garcia as well. Actually, we also wanted to note here, with the 90-liter fuel tank, we could be just seeing a full one-star strategy possible. And looking into Mercer Ludo and Aaron Mazzi has that straight line speed. Very, very good exit there for Mazzi. So now Mazzi is now up in the top 10. And now look at Olivares trying to defend from Kate Garcia.
A lot of fighting going towards the back. This is interesting from Ashton taking it over Dow. Dow was starting to fall somewhat rapidly, but Matt now in 13. Just took over Garcia. A lot of stuff going on. I'll take a hit.
So we did mention that we got some drivers falling down like a rock. Mercer Ludo has now dropped down to 13th place and making mistake after mistake, being shoved off track. So Ludo is now down to 13th place. And this will mean that Aaron Mazzi has the pace to basically catch up to Maurice Tremblay, now up to 9th place. Now we did mention that some drivers representing Canada to an extent. The Silva holds on to 2nd place. That is not caught up to Marion Moore. We could be seeing a battle for the race lead there between Morris and the Silva. The Silva, despite being Brazilian, represents Kronii, who is Canadian. And also, Maurice Tremblay in 9th place, Evan Fuller in 15th. So these 3 cars have each of their races to fight for. We will be taking a look into the live gaps here. McCollum is now really caught up into K-Shot. Let's see what Brendan McCollum can do to catch up to the alien VTuber?
We can see the gap is a little small, but you could definitely distance it if you tried. And even then, Liddell somehow fell to 14th place, and I'm thinking I'm seeing a little battle over here.
Yes, you're right. So Liddell is now down to 15th place. His pace is dropping down like flies. So Liddell not looking good there from the American driver. And you can see here, Evan Fuller making the pass up to 14th place. Liddell is definitely losing touch with everyone out there. 119.890, sorry, no. 126.14 for Mr. Liddell. And with everyone else setting 118s and 190s, this is not looking good there for Mercer.
Liddell, maybe Liddell could catch up, but with this touch and his sitting in the like 120 lap time, I'm starting to doubt if Liddell could possibly make a comeback. But I guess the drop is pleasantly somewhat far, but the drop could eventually. Oh, I think the Rock might be going for an aggressive thing over here. That's it.
Oh yes, we'll be taking a look here. If Liddell can really try to put an offensive there to Evan Fuller. Mercer Liddell. Liddell having lost a lot of pace, 119.332 for Liddell, and on the Rob 118. So there is a massive lap time difference between Liddell and the Rob. Looking into Liddell. Mercer Liddell will look to pit around in the middle stages of the race, so it's not looking good there for Mercer if he wants to pit early, as he may not have enough fuel to get him until the end of the race. And into the Silva, keeping up with Marion Morris. He's really putting her money where her mouth is. The Silva trying to attack Marion Morris. Casual holds on to 3rd place. Still a Takamori 1-3, so two Takamori drivers on the podium, so very good stuff there from Morris and Cashew. Emerson Kerr is losing touch just a bit to Cashew, and meanwhile looking at Shalaga in 5th place. Sean and McCauley may look to battle some again. While the Rob make a move down the inside. Oh, you can see the Rob really losing grip there in the corners. Into the S's, into the final turn. The Rob trying to put in place as much of an attention as he can to Liddell. His lap time 119.236, and Evan Fuller is on the 118.4. So Liddell is really losing touch with the drivers in front, and the Rob is ready to pounce.
The Rob, if he can get his corners right, I'm pretty sure he could surcome Liddell in the next few laps, and maybe even this lap if he's aggressive and skillful enough. But we'll see where that ends up. And I would like to check on the Morris de Silva situation going on. And up front is de Silva catching up.
Oh yes, we want to mention some of the few drivers catching up. You're right, Carolina de Silva has really closed down the gap between herself and Marion Morris. It's going to be a Lexus battle for the race lead. Let's just hope that the battle for the race lead will end up being clean, or so we thought. Marion Morris had a lap time of 1:17.65. De Silva has a 10th of a lap time faster than Morris. So de Silva really having that car in place for her. Basically representing Kronii. Kronii is stated to be Canadian, so de Silva has every right to attack Marion Morris and hold on to the race lead until the final stages of the race.
De Silva is catching up at a alarming rate, even beating Morris's time last time. This is a very, very good sign that Morris has to step up his game a little bit more in order to keep de Silva at bay a little bit, and seems that Cashew is very, very far behind. About
and looking at Cashew, looking at Cashew,
5 seconds.
Yeah, 5 seconds is the gap between Cashew and de Silva. Meanwhile, de Silva really tucked in behind the drive between herself and Marion Morris. Marion Morris trying to play an offensive game here to Marion. Right now, it's a bit of a stalemate so far, but if Morris can mess up his line, it Morris messes up his line, and Orlando Silva has a very good exit, a very good set of corners. He could be seeing a battle for a race lead, but for now, Garcia is not going to try to pull in the offensive into Santi Olivares. Olivares holds steady his position, and Kate Garcia holds steady on her position as well. Lado has been overtaken by the Rock. The Rock is now side by side. Oh, it goes on the curb there, basically for Lado, and now the Rock is free to basically attack everyone else. The Rock has not been unleashed to try to catch up to Evan Fuller or other stuff. Let me mention, Lado was 10th at one point, has now dropped down to 16th. The race pace is just not there for Mercer.
Okay, very, very sad sight to see. I believe Liddell, actually no, I think Liddell can reclaim some of her original quote-unquote empire, aka the 10th, I believe 10th place spot last I knew, but I don't think she can reclaim all of it. But also, I believe that the battle for first is going to be exclusively De Silva and Morris. Speaking of which, De Silva are really closing in on Morris at the moment.
Yes, right now the gap was about 0.2 of a second. Mary Morris and De Silva really battling hammer and tongs between themselves. Obviously, De Silva being absolutely committed to Aura Kronii, really wants to really attack there. Mary Morris, and we see another battle here. Kate Garcia now side by side with Santi Olivares. Santi Olivares is now lost out to Kate Garcia. Takes another bit of whacking there on the curb. Is now looking to be under pressure from Evan Fuller. The first round of pit stop will come soon. Mohamed Cashew, Evan Fuller, these will be the first drivers who will be pitting for a fresh set of tires and a splash or two of fuel. So they will be the first drivers to commit to an undercut strategy. So basically the undercut strategy works like this: pit early, exit in clean air, set up fast lap times where everyone else was slower, and when they pit, you will be ahead of them. So that is what the undercut strategy is, and that is what Cashew and basically Evan Fuller plan on doing.
I believe Fuller definitely, if he's doing this strategy, has a good chance of bringing something home for Canada that is in 14th place, maybe even going up to like something like 8th potentially, but we'll see how that strategy works out in the time coming.
Okay, so we're going to be taking a look into some of the battles here. Jason Fisher holding on to 18th place. Raymond Pavo in 17th. Marcel Doe, 16th. Don DeRock holds on to 15th. As we can see, Evan Fuller now side by side with Santi Olivares. We did mention that Marcel Doe is losing touch to some of the drivers here. Now, Maurice Tremblay, actually. Maurice Tremblay is also going to commit to, I believe, the first of 2 stops we may see, but whatever the case is, we're seeing a battle here between Santi Olivares and Evan Fuller. Now Santi Olivares is now falling down for few positions there. Gets up at 13th temporarily as the first pit stops come about. Looking at Maurice Tremblay. Maurice Tremblay is clear until the end of this race. So the drivers will be committing to a one-stop strategy, and with that one-stop strategy, it's now a question of who gets to pit early and who gets to pit late.
I believe pitting early would definitely be a smart choice right here, especially with the severe tire wear on this track. So it's gonna have a really big rundown for the tires, not necessarily, well, definitely the fuel, but fuel is important, but the tires are important, or that's what I'm trying to say.
But if I were you, I would want to manage the tires until later in this race, and once we can really even out the tire wear until, let's say, the second, until like halfway portion of the race or 2/3 of the race, then I would want to bolt my new tires, with everyone's tires basically being dead, and the pace advantage for the new tires is heavier than that of those who are running older tires. We can see that the older tires have a lap time of around 119, 120, and we have a new tire bolt in, we can get a 116 to 117. So that's basically a 2 to 3 second difference in lap time. So that will be very crucial if you want to like pit later and basically pick off the drivers with older tires one by one. And in Mosport, it's not really a hard track to pass. There are a lot of passing opportunities, especially in Quebec Corner, the hairpin, and the S, and the final turn. So if you want to attack, you can really attack. So I believe the overcut strategy could be the strategy to beat.
The question is, could De Silva pull it off to catch up to Morris, who's been first place for like the entire race? If De Silva did that, would De Silva be able to pick off Morris, especially with the small gap between them of about 0.4 seconds?
We'll wait and see as we'll be taking a look into Muhammad Cashew, the next driver to commit to an early pit stop, the undercut strategy, as will Evan Fuller. But Evan Fuller is coming across the S's. And there is Cashew getting his car serviced for a new fresh set of tires and a splash of fuel. There is the call for Evan Fuller to come into the pits. So basically looking at Cashew, what's the pit delta going to be? 30 seconds currently inside the car. 35. And looking into the battle here, their battle is with Maurice Tremblay. Maurice Tremblay has committed to a similar strategy, but it's too far back, so his battle will be with Evan Fuller. Looking into some of the battles here, there's not much of a battle here right now. People are keeping a decent gap between each other, so it's basically run out your strategy. But here we hear Evan Fuller having his car out on track. Here is Evan Fuller being overtaken by Maurice Tremblay. Maurice Tremblay was running in the top 10. Basically, the pit delta right now is 42 seconds. So if you can make it with the pit stop delta of 42 seconds, you can try to basically make it up by pitting very early, or by pitting. This is how you basically make up the pit stop delta. If you pit early, you can basically beat the pit stop delta. If you're like basically 39 to 40 seconds ahead of your opponent already pitted. Meanwhile, looking at the Silva. Silva's going to be the next driver to have his car serviced, as will Brendan McConley.
I would just like to point something out. Brickler somehow managed to get into fifth. I'm not sure if that's from pits or anything, but Brickler is in fifth right now when he was originally in a hard place at the time. So that is at least somewhat impressive to me.
So we're going to be taking a look into the gaps here, the live gaps between the leader and all that stuff. The Silva is already 35 seconds ahead of Marion Morris. And if it's true that the time taken to service your car is around 40 plus seconds for the moment you enter pit lane, for the moment you exit pit lane, the Silva will be in a very good position to overtake Marion Morris through race strategy.
The Silva can definitely catch up. I believe it's a waiting game at this rate. When will Morris hit though? And that's
but look at this! Oh, there's a bit of an incident there between Cashew and basically Raymond Pavo. Raymond Pavo has yet to pit, and his tires are very old. Cashew will want to try to pass as many cars as possible, basically overtake the traffic as much as possible. As you can see, Cashew was a bit impatient into the curbs and basically nearly lost the car. So it's Cashew getting close and close into Raymond Pavo. Raymond Pavo on the defense, but it's not basically his race to battle. His battle is not with Muhammad Cashew. You see the pace difference there between Raymond Pavo. Raymond Pavo is currently setting a lap of 119.929, and I believe Muhammad Cashew could set lap times of 118.117. So let's see if more drivers pitting already. Garcia will not be balanced. Brendan Conley, as you can see. Oh, trying to go for the offensive there. Muhammad Cashew. But not quite close enough there. Garcia is now getting out on track. Tremblay overtakes Garcia, but will be able to hold on to basically his position over Evan Fuller. And we're all looking at Muhammad Cashew. The drivers have already pitted. Cashew is really trying to attack. I think he's side by side with Raymond Pavo. Let's see. Cashew now having a good exit as much as he can. Now the gap between him and the leader is 40 seconds. So that's one thing we need to pay attention to. Speaking of the next driver is going to pit, Sandy Olivares and Don the Rock, as well as Kayshawn and Raymond Pavo. They will be the next drivers to pit. So it's going to be very crucial for Muhammad Cashew to make the pass on Raymond Pavo. He wants to claw the gap back into Marion Morris.
Cashew is making a bit really. It takes a little bit of curve there. Yeah, Cashew keeps on miscalculating his offenses and is getting a little bit greedy, which could affect his position a lot. Again, like I said, it should be more of I know you want to be aggressive, but I feel it should also be a little bit of a waiting game.
And looking into the strategy at the moment here, he's getting really, really desperate there by Cashew, and that's not going to do himself any favors. We're going to be waiting to see the next drivers pitting in this lap or two, and looking into the gaps right now. Ooh, getting really close there to the rear end of Raymond Pavel, but not quite close enough. He wants to take a look into some of the advances in the Formula 2 race in Malta. Just wanted to check that out just a little bit. But meanwhile, K-Sean is pitting from 4th place, and he will be the first driver to, maybe the next driver to commit to pit. But this time it will be at a basically he'll be pitting at nearly the halfway point of the race. So that's one thing that we need to pay attention to. Meanwhile, we're taking a look into who is winning who. The race has concluded in Formula 2, so that's one thing to pay attention to. Also, Raymond Pavel. Raymond Pavel is not failing to pit, so Mama Cashew is now unleashed out into the racetrack.
Cashew managed to get himself into 11th. I'm pretty sure he's out for blood for Liddell, who I'm guessing got the 10th for pitting, but 10th place is still 10th place. As of current, Morris, it's about is ahead of Kurt by about 12 seconds if I read that correctly. I don't think Kurt will catch up, but the Silva definitely has a chance with newer tires. But also the Silva jumped up a couple positions. He's now in 9th.
Yeah, we do want to pay attention to that one as well. The Silva is now in prime position to really consolidate this race lead. Mary Morris wants to hold on to this race lead. He will need to pit as soon as possible. Sergio Olivares and Don Drop, the next drivers, to be called into pit. So basically, he will not want to care too much about the two cars in front. Looking into the two drivers in front, they have already pitted. So the Silva will have more clean air to work with and more fast laps to have. So the Silva will definitely be in prime position to win this race.
The Silva is playing this very, very smartly, using her tires to slowly pick off everyone one by one. I believe she's out for Aslan now, and she is closing the gap at a alarming rate at the moment.
And looking into some of the battles here right now, the Rob is still having his car serviced. Santi Olivares as well. Looking into the gap here. Basically, Olivares and the Rob have pitted way too late, and they have basically been overtaken by the drivers who have pitted earlier. This is what we mentioned about the undercut strategy: pit early and be faster than the other drivers on track. And once they have pitted, it'll be way too late. And looking into the Rob and Olivares, they're basically in 16th and 17th. Looking into some of the other drivers here right now, the Silva really blistering out of here on the racetrack, doing Brazil proud. And also, speaking of Brazil, we have heard about the race results in Formula 2. Felipe Drugovich has been listed as the Formula 2 champion in Formula 2. So very good stuff there from the Brazilian, making Brazil really proud. Let's see Carolina da Silva can do the same thing here in Volvo GT3 and also make Oro Kronii proud, basically giving Kronii the home race win.
I know this is a bit unrelated, but how did Pava get to 18th? Was there a hit I missed or something? Was I just not observing? Oh, a little battle going on between Cashew and the Dogs.
And you can see, Cashew takes over a bit of the inside wall just a bit, and that's why his car is quite damaged, and the damage is actually quite big. And yes, the damage is really big. You can see there's a cracked windshield in the Cali car. Now side by side with Mercer Lado. Mercer Lado have yet to pit, so Cashew now basically putting light work between himself and Lado. And right now his opponent is the Silva. They were second and third. And right now, looking into some of the drivers here, who will be the next driver to pit? Mercer Lado, actually. So Cashew has actually overtook him at quite the right time. Well, look at his car. His car is still mangled.
The Silva, I remember in that gap was about 9 seconds at about 5.8 right now, so and getting smaller as we speak. And Morris still in first. Kurt, I believe, is shortening the gap a little bit too. I mean, Kurt was at about 11. He's now at about 9.4.
So yeah, we did mention here that Emerson Kurt is really managing his tires very well there ahead of Marion Morris. And right now we have already passed the halfway point of the race. Ladeau has come into the pits, have his car serviced. He will look to battle himself between, let's say, Maurice Tremblay, Evan Fuller, and Santiago Olivares. And we do want to mention that why Raymond Powell has basically dropped down the law position into what's basically last place. While Raymond Powell was around 17th, but basically because he pitted later than usual, he basically got undercutted by his opponents. So that's why Powell is way back down here. And now Mr. Ladeau.
Oh, I see. I just missed the pit on accident. My bad.
Okay, don't worry. We all learn. Anyways, Mr. Ladeau has gotten out on the racetrack here with fresh sets of tires. Just manages to actually be ahead of Marion Morris. We did mention about lap cars. Actually, we haven't mentioned about lap cars before. Due to the nature of this track being only 2.5 miles, and after massive hits from where he stands, Marion Morris will be in prime position to lap Mr. Ladeau. Mr. Ladeau has the colder tires, doesn't have enough grip. Now Marion Morris tries to take light work there between him and the lap car, but looking at Mr. Ladeau is now looking to basically be in prime position to be attacked by Marion Morris, who's going to try his best to lap the Nanashi Mume Honda, and we did mention seeing that Raymond Powell is now a lap down to Marion Morris. Takes up a lot of curb there, Marion Morris. Looking into the pit exit there, Jeremy Assam holds on to 12th place. Meanwhile, Marion Morris is going to be stuck behind Mr. Ladeau, which is not going to look good since he's battling with the Silva and basically Mama Cashew.
I believe Kurt is also trying to take Morris's first place, as I've said before. He's catching up somewhat quickly now at about, if I read this correctly, about a 5-6 second gap right now.
Yeah, we did mention that Emerson is really catching up into Marion Morris. You're right.
But the Silva made it up to 5th place. I didn't see that possibly due to either late pitting or a fresh set of tires, and I am seeing Mozzie fall down a little bit.
That's because he's pitting.
Oh, that's because Mozzie's in the pit.
Yeah, actually we want to note that right now with Marion Morris being held back, being held up by basically Mr. Ladeau, and now with Mr. Ladeau's tires being warmed up again, he's now basically behind Mr. Ladeau. Look at Emerson Kurt. Emerson Kurt is really in prime position to get a few more positions right now. We're looking to only looking at a few more drivers who have yet to pit. K-Sean has already pitted. Looking at a driver yet to pit. Brooklers, K-Sean, Jason Fisher, Emerson Kurt, and Monica Shalake. 5 drivers have yet to be have their car serviced in pits, and right now, Mama Cashew being 9 seconds behind the Silva. Will his chances of a podium finish be there? Will his chances of a podium finish be gone? We'll wait and see. His front is really mangled here. It's a bit bent up, and we'll be taking a look into some of the gaps here as well. Evan Fuller now catching up to Maurice Tremblay, and Jeremy Assis is now really closing into Aaron Mazzi. And right now we're on 30 laps complete here in Mosport Park. And K-Sean and Evan Fuller side by side. These drivers have yet to pit, so it's a battle for race position here at the moment. K-Sean has the upper hand. And we did mention about tire wear right now. Station Fisher now has a lap time of 120. K-Sean has yet to pit, but managed to hold on to 118. Okay, Garcia has already pitted, and she has set a lap time of 117.7. And Jeremy Assam holding on to his race pace at the moment. He's looking very decent there in 12th place. 5 drivers have yet to pit. Marion Morris, Emerson Kurt, Mark Shalage, Brooke Lurs, and K-Sean and Jason Fisher, to my knowledge.
Brickler's currently in 4th right now, but that is sure to change. I'm pretty sure the undercut strategy that the others are going for is going to really bite him really hard right now, as he has yet to pit and his tires, I'm guessing, are very worn, especially since we're past the halfway mark. I don't think Brookler's is going to hold on to his 4th place for very long.
Yeah, looking at Brookler's right now, Brookler's have yet to pit. The Silva have already pitted. You can see the gaps literally closing in between some of the other drivers here. Looking at Evan Fuller now really trying to catch up to Maurice Tremblay. Has the slipstream right now between himself and the Honda. Will he make a late dive down the inside? Not quite. Will Maurice Tremblay? Oh, Maurice Tremblay has really slowed down. I can see Evan Fuller trying to go around the outside of Maurice Tremblay, but it's not meant to be at the moment. Looking into the live gaps here at the moment, Raymond Pavel has already been lapped by Marion Morris. Could he be unlapped by Raymond Pavel? We'll have to wait and see. Looking into the pit stop deltas right now, Marion Morris will hold on to basically his position right now, whereas Tremblay has about to be overtaken by Evan Fuller. Evan Fuller trying to make a move around the outside. The Rain Lady, being represented by Evan Fuller, makes the move on Maurice Tremblay, who's now down to 14th. And Evan Fuller is now up to 13th.
Truly interesting thing. I believe Fuller came up on top, but I believe Tremblay is going to be on the hunt right now. The gap is somewhat small, only at about 0.6 at the moment. That could, and I believe it will widen or possibly close in soon, so I'm going to try to keep a close eye on that. With that being said, Kurt at about 2.3 seconds behind Morris right now.
Yes, good eye there, Zeke. So looking into this, Jason Vision now commits to his pit stop. He will be pitting from basically 10th place, and that will mean that we'll have super fresh tires there come the end. It will be around less than 20 laps to go. Looking at Raymond Pavel. Raymond Pavel is looking into a prime position to unlap himself from Marion Morris. Right now, Raymond Pavel is the only driver a lap down from. Oh, as you can see here, Marion Morris now finally commits to his pit stop. This will be crucial as Emerson Kerr will also peel into the pits. We'll look at Carolina De Silva. Carolina De Silva will be inheriting the race lead comfortably as it stands. She will be leading the race as the only Brazilian in the International Series. She's going to make Brazil even more proud. And also Monica Schalage. So 3 Lexus cars have already pitting this lap. Brooklers and De Silva will be the only 2 cars who have yet to pit in this race. So Marion Morris, Emerson Kerr, Monica Schalage. Here is Muhammad Cashew. Muhammad Cashew is going to try to make light work of basically Marion Morris and Emerson Kerr. Despite having a banged up car, Cashew is now up to 3rd place. This will mean that the Grim Reaper live streamer, virtual YouTuber, represented by Muhammad Cashew, holds on to the race lead.
I'd just like to point out Brookler's was managed to wiggle his way in the first despite his severe damages on drifting control for corners. So even if this is temporary, mad respect to Brookler's for somehow getting to first within the pandemonium and the damages of the car.
Yes, we have to know that as well, but we have to note that with the excessive tire wear here, especially for those who have pitted way too early, they will be sending ducks to those who have pitted late. So let's see if, Marion Morris can catch up to multiple other drivers here. We also want to mention that K-Sean have already pitted, so Marion Morris will be looking to try to find a way to get past all these drivers. We are looking at only Brooklers who have yet to pit in this lap. 17 liters of fuel to go, so now's a good time for us to show everyone about the progress chart. Who are the big losers? Who are the big winners? Here are your results. Kay Garcia started 15th, is now up to 9th. Cashew started 6th, now up to 3rd. And one of the bigger losers here right now, although temporarily, Maurice Trump for Marion Morris from the lead to 8th place, but more permanent case, Maurice Tremblay not looking good there from the Canadian-born driver from Quebec. Maurice Tremblay started at around 7th and is now down to 13th. Ledoux started 10th and is now down to 16th. and Ozzy Wasif, of course, started last but crashed out early on in the race, so not looking good there from the Malaysian. But meanwhile, we're looking into the entire age for the drivers here at the moment. As you can see, Brooklers has quite the aging tires. Emerson Kerr and Mary Morris have basically 13 laps younger tires than the Silva and Cashew and Brendan McCauley as well. So we could be seeing them make inroads in the final stages of the race.
I think the undercut. Oh, the Silva. Oh, Brooklers was just kidding. My bad. Well, the Silva is currently in third. So the battle with Forrest was over when we started the hits. And Brooklers is currently in second. Wait, sorry, I keep forgetting he's in the pits, my bad. Let's see, I'm looking at, never mind, just go on.
Okay, meanwhile, Emerson Kerr have already set the fastest lap of the race outright there, a 1:16. So Emerson Kerr really piling in on the pressure of the drivers in front. Let's see if Kerr, with the freshest tires possible, let's see if he can catch the Silva and Casio. Looking at Mazzy making the pass on Brooklers. Brooklers is now having his car serviced and cleaned and fixed and repaired. Brooklers is now down to 10, but has the freshest tires possible as he's the last driver pitting. He has 16 laps, not 17 laps, to try to make as many passes as possible. With the fresh tires and everyone in the sub 118, 119s at the moment, Brooklers can set a 117 and 116 and really blitz on the opposition.
I would recommend Brooklers for a really aggressive strategy. We do not have many laps to go. Well, I guess we do if we count like about 17 laps, large amount of laps. But you know, I've seen longer lap times and they still haven't pulled off. So Brooklers, I would recommend going. I'd argue maybe even a little bit reckless in order to get into prime position to get into some of the larger
points position, the higher positions. Yes, correct. And
yeah, the higher position.
Yeah, looking at Emerson Kerr right now, he has gained well over a second over Muhammad Cashew. So Emerson Kerr is looking to have a very good car, a prime position for him to pick up these drivers off.
I guess I'll just take over. I don't know what I'm doing, but Kurt currently in a 2.5 seconds ahead of, behind Cashew. I believe he can potentially take over Cashew, maybe especially with the fresh tires, as Adak has said before. So we'll see how that turns out. Also, Adak, are you back? I'm scared.
Okay. I just wanted to check. We just wanted to check the mic.
Technical difficulties.
Okay, so apologies there. I want to check the mic. Hang on. So I wanted to check the mic. Okay. Okay. Can you hear me once again? Okay, can you hear me once again?
Kurt got a 116. Cashew got a 118.
Zeke.
Meaning he's definitely catching up.
Zeke. I'm here. Zeke, I'm back.
You were cutting out. I'm sorry. I just had to take over for a little bit.
Okay. Apologies for that. I'm trying my best to get the mic back into operation right now. Let's see if the connection is worthwhile at the moment. So I believe, looking into the battle here right now, Emerson Kerr is already a second faster than Muhammad Cashew. So he's really trying to pick up the pace. And right now Cashew doesn't have too much of a pace right now. Let's see if he can defend second place from Emerson.
Honestly, I was talking the last time. Yeah, I believe Kurt was really, while you were gone, Kurt was really catching up from about 2 seconds to about 1 point, now at a 1 second gap right now, only within like the span of a lap. Very impressive for Emerson. Kurt, I believe that within less than a second, 0.9. We'll see how this turns out.
Okay, yeah. So I just wanted to check if the mic is all back, all good and in good standing at the moment. It looks like it is right now. Looking at the pace right now, 117.017 for Emerson Kerr and a 118.2 for Muhammad Cashew. Emerson Kerr is really closing the gap between himself and Muhammad Cashew right now. And you can see really closing in here at the moment in turn 2 and into Quebec corner for turn 3. Emerson Kerr's really closing out the gap in corner entry, mid-corner, corner exit, into the acceleration zone. It's currently Lexus 1, 2, 3. The Lexus stranglehold has already been broken. Shalake down to 6. Morris down to 7th. Meanwhile, Morris has actually caught up to Monica Shalake. Shalake is trying to make a move into K-Sean, but not quite close enough there for Monica. Meanwhile, for Emerson Kurt, he has a long back straight. That's this, the Mario Andretti straightaway. So Emerson Kurt, let's see what he can do.
Kurt, I believe, would try to use the slightly terrain to his advantage. I'm seeing, oh, they're butting heads. They're butting heads. Kurt trying to turn in to the corners, butting heads again. They get knocked out, but Kurt came out on top. Truly beautiful play by Kurt. Slightly went into the pit lanes, but managed to keep it all together. Now currently in second, and he will probably stay that way as Cashew has older tires. So unless Kurt makes a very big oopsie, Kurt is guaranteed second for this
Not for long.
race.
We're going to be taking a look into the Silva's gap. The Silva with a strategy masterclass there to jump herself up into the race lead. Definitely what Kronii would have wanted if, let's say, what Kurt talks about her being Canadian is true. So the Silva, it's a good day for Brazil. She's on her way to win her first Vol GT3 race, representing Kronii. So it's good for Brazil and Canada at the same time. But we need to pay attention to the Silva's lap times over Emerson Kurt. Remember, Silva pits way earlier than everyone else, and Kurt pits way later than everyone else. So let's see if Emerson Kurt can close the gap between himself and the Silva in the last 12 laps of this race.
Yeah, that will be very, very interesting, might I add. Fisher and Pavo probably having a little scuffle over there. Fisher within 0.3 seconds of Pavo right now.
Okay, so we're looking into the lap times here at the moment. 1:17.264 for Emerson Kurt. Very consistent lap there from the Australian. We're taking a look into the tire age right now. We did have to mention that Kurt, having 12 laps fresher tires than the Silva, will be trying his best to catch up to the Silva for as much as he can. But whatever the case here at the moment, the Silva will be leading here at the moment. She has 14 seconds of a margin to defend between herself and Emerson Kurt. And speaking of that, looking at this one, Robin Olivares battling side by side, and the Rock, despite having to push Olivares a bit wide, is now up to 14th place.
And I see Fisher just took over Pablo a little bit. There wasn't really much of a scuffle from what I could see, but Pablo just hit the curb a little. We'll see if Pablo can reclaim 17th place right now, but Fisher seems to be pulling out 17th pretty well, very well defensively. I believe the gap could definitely be widened by Fisher between Pablo.
1:17.887 for Carolina De Silva. 1:17.887. Looking at Emerson Kurt, when he crosses the line, he will be at 1:17.214. Only 6/10ths gain between himself and compared to De Silva. So I don't think this will be enough for Emerson Kurt to try to make a move over De Silva. Despite having the pace advantage here at the moment, there will not be enough lap time. Meanwhile, Mazzi has made the pass over Garcia. Garcia is now under pressure from Brooklers. Brooklers now into the inside line of Garcia. Garcia is now struggling in the corners. Dennis is struggling in the corners. And it's going to be the opposite for the Lexus cars. Brooklers trying to make a move around the outside. Will not be able to stick it here at the moment. Will he make a dive bomb down the inside into Quebec corner? We'll wait and see.
Oh, he tried.
Yeah, he tried, but I will need to check back on the mic here at the moment just to double check on what's happening. And we're back on the commentary booth here at the moment. Looking at Shalage. Shalage is really hounding on the back of K-Shot here.
Shalage can definitely get Sean. I believe Shalage's tires are also fresher, and there's a small enough gap that Shalage could definitely take over Sean. But going back to the Kurt De Silva situation, yeah, Kurt has basically guaranteed second place, and the gap between Kurt and Cashew is widening as we speak. But yeah, I don't think Kurt has enough time to catch up to De Silva.
So we're looking into the progress chart here at the moment. The biggest gainer is Brendan McConley. Started 12th, is now up to 4th place. Good job there from the B-man. De Silva and Kurt basically started 3rd and 4th. They basically, the second row is the lucky row here in Mosport. And started 3rd and 4th. They're now up to 1st and 2nd. As you can see here, Shalaka trying to make a move around the inside of Keishon. Keishon making his Nissan the widest Nissan that he could make here right now. But will it be enough? As we can see, Mary Moore's closing in onto Monica Shalage. As the battle between the front engine cars, Diofi versus Kyla versus Kiara. This is going to be a feisty battle here between these three cars here at the moment. With Keishon defending like a rabid alien, and Morris trying to attack for as much as he can, and for Shalaka to attack for as much as she can. Now Morris is catching up, and as does Aaron Mazzi and the rest of the drivers at the back.
Shalage should attempt to get past Sean as fast as possible, I believe, as Morris could definitely take a bite out of him if he passes him before he takes over Sean. So I would be somewhat afraid. Oh, they're kind of butting heads a little, about a 0.3, 0.4-ish gap around Shalage and Sean.
Oh yeah, so looking at this one here, looking into the battles here at the moment, Shalage is really closing up into Keishon. Barry Morris's gap between, as you can see, nearly closed the gap here between, nearly closed the door, but he closed the door quite safely. Let's see how much understeer the Nissan is experiencing at the moment. Not enough to lose a few positions here at the moment. The battle is revving up into the final 10 laps of this race. And you can see we're on lap 43 right now. 42 laps completed. We only have around 9 laps to go here. De Silva consolidating the race lead. Kerr holding on to 2nd place. He wants to defend the 2nd place at this point because there's not much time, not much gap, not much of a pace advantage to him to make the pass on De Silva for the race lead. Looking into De Silva actually. I actually want to note here that De Silva, the first car, that blue car in front of De Silva is Raymond Pavo in last place. So De Silva might just be able to get himself close into the lap car of Raymond Pavo. So let's see if this lap car could be something that could mess up with De Silva's race.
Very, very potentially it could mess up her race, but it'd have to be something big for Kurt to catch up. And speaking of which, Kurt can definitely hold 2nd place, as last time I said, when the gap was widening, it was about 4 seconds. It is now about 6 seconds, and then we got Maka.
You can see here a lot of dust being kicked up there by Marion Morris. Marion Morris has made a mistake somewhere. Now Aaron Mazzi is going to try to make a move around the outside. Maybe, yes. He's going to try to make a move around the outside. Marion Morris, takes a way too much curve there. Compromises his exit, as does Aaron Mazzi. So looking into the battle here at the moment here, they're now bunched up. The cars are bunched up right now. Remember, points are now offered down to 15th place. And meanwhile, we're going to be taking a switch down the microphone here at the moment, just to double check on what's going on. Anyway, we switched down the mic. We can see here Aaron Mazzi trying to make him dive down the inside, but it's not going to be enough. Looking at Shalage, he's now really closed up to Keishon. Let's see what Shalage has to offer.
It seems Shalage has got Morris off his tail, but the same cannot be said for Sean, who Shalage is currently pounding Sean 5th place, and that is about it. Shalage is potentially going to go an offensive and just barely misses his car. We'll see how this turns out. Adak, go to you.
Oh, look at this one. Kate Garcia has been overtaken by Brookler. Brookler is now up to 9th place. Brookler's really making use of his fresh tires to his advantage. Now Brookler's basically the first race winner, despite being an invitational, now making his car work as he wanted. Harnessing the energy, the mommy energy that Sarah Spana emits. Let's see what Brookler can do to overtake the car in front. Aaron Mazzi representing Iris.
I'd say that Brooklyn's car is probably powered by Saplings giving a little bit of their energy to Blippers as a current could definitely make a move on Mozzie sometime soon, but we'll see where that ends up. Blippers could, as I said, a little bit of butting heads between Aston and first C. Aston could definitely make a move.
And looking into this one, looking into another few bits here. Oh, the Silva has definitely been caught up into the back of Raymond Pavel. Raymond Pavel is about to be lapped by the Silva. Let's see how much the Silva gets held up by the lap about to be lap car of Raymond Pavel. So this is another development on this race that we need to pay attention to. Brookler's now trying to make a pass on RMS, but is unsuccessful at the moment. Car number 85, representing Sarah's Fauna. Brookler's is going to try to make an offense. Let's see where he can go. Let's see if he can get close enough. We're on lap 46 at the moment. 45 laps complete. We're on to that final 10% of this race. The last 10th of this race is currently underway. This is where the race is leading up to at the moment. We're seeing some coming. We're seeing some goers. Let's see if there will be more battles here. Emerson Kurt has now dropped the ball. 1:18.118 for Emerson Kurt. The gap's now dropped down to 9 seconds between the Silva and Emerson Kurt.
Not enough time, at least to me. 5 laps to get within 9 seconds of the Silva, unless Pablo absolutely is a master holding up the Silva up. I don't think anything is really going to happen between the 1 and 2 spots.
But look at the gap down. It's already 8 seconds now between the Silva and Emerson Kurt. The Silva is struggling to pass the lap car, the slow car, Emerson Kurt. Raymond Pavel. Raymond Pavel is 18. The Silva is in first place. So, let's see if the Silva can dispatch Pavel for as fast as possible, because right now the gap between herself and Emerson Kurt is shrinking like crazy.
I wouldn't argue it's shrinking like crazy, but it sure is giving a new light to Emerson Kurt first place fantasies, quote unquote. Pavo, the Silva has to pass Pavo as quick as possible if she wants to deal with this problem right away, but I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. The Silva seems to be playing a bit passively right now.
Hey, meanwhile, we're taking a look into gaps here right now. The Silva's really being held up here at the moment. The gap's now 7.8 seconds. It's never say never in this race here at the moment. You gotta be in it to win it. It's not over until it's over. Meanwhile, Shalak is gonna try to make the pass on Kayshawn. Shalak is sniffing a top 5. She has finished in the top 5 in the Suzuka Invitational. Let's see if she can replicate that top 5 finish again here in Canada.
Possibly. Shalak is weaving down the neck of Sean right now. It's just he keeps he can't get his attacks right, but he's gone on multiple offensives. He's probably trying to Kayshawn's guard has to be broken down eventually.
And right now, Kayshawn is defending crazy here at the moment, but will it be enough? Will there be enough laps for him to defend? Remember, Kayshawn's tires have degraded absolutely crazily. And looking at the gap between Emerson Kurt and the Silva right now, it's now dropped down to just about 7 seconds. Looking at the Silva is still being held up by Raymond Pavel. 1:19.451 for Pavel, 1:19.558 for the Silva, 1:18.186 for Emerson Kurt. So this could be, so basically the lap car could be the deciding factor if Raymond Pavel can actually catch and pass the Silva.
Well, we are at about the 3 lap mark. Kurt would have to go at least like 2 seconds and then some to catch up to the Silva and actually pass her. We'll see where this comes out. Kurt has a new hope going into hopefully first place to get over the V-Tour Canadian, Kronii.
And right now, Shalage trying to make her car work, trying to find a way to get past Keishan in the Nissan. Meanwhile, looking at Brooklers, trying to intimidate Aaron-Masi, but it's not going to be enough for Brooklers. For now, he only has 2 shots left, 2 laps to go. And right now, Emerson Kurt's gaps between himself and the Silva has now dropped down to 6 seconds. So right now, Emerson Kurt's chances are there. It's kind of shined just a little bit, but right now, I don't think it will be enough. Remember Paul's lap time, 1:19.428. The Silva's lap time, 1:19.412. Emerson Kurt's lap time, a 1:18.223, so only 1.2 seconds faster than Silva on the last lap. So we're in the penultimate lap of this race so far. Silva's looking prime to win this race unless the Silva makes a catastrophic mistake and Kurt gets basically back into the race lead.
We'll see if some crashes happen maybe between Pavo and the Silva, but again, the Silva's playing very passively, just trying to wait out the timer, only about a lap or 2 left.
Yeah, 2 laps.
So if the Silva, 2 laps, yeah. If the Silva can just hold out for those last 2 laps, he can probably make it.
And right now, Brooklyn is going to try his best to make the pass for 8th place at the moment, but right now he has to check himself up between himself and Aaron-Masi. The Kurt's gap between himself and the Silva now dropped down to 4 seconds right now. The Silva, I think, just wants to bring this car home, especially with the next time that she crosses the line, it will be the last lap. And we're going to the white flag here at the moment. The Silva getting crossed into the final turn. The Silva starts the final lap of the race in the race lead. So watch out for her. She's going to make something happen. We want to be taking a look at some of the guys here. 1:82.88 for Emerson Kurt. Consistent laps here at the moment. I don't think it will be enough for Emerson Kurt to catch her.
Probably not. Kurt has to make 4 seconds within a lap, which just won't happen. And it seems Cashew's time has severely degraded to about 1:19. Shirage probably still on the offensive for Sean. He might be making a move very, very soon. Nope. Did not take that opportunity to make a move. Morris still in 7th, probably trying to catch up to Shirage, but I don't think that's going to happen within this lap.
And meanwhile, we're taking a look at the Silva. The Silva just wants to keep this car in one piece at the moment. The Silva has done what she needed to do. Started from 3rd, get herself into the front, get a master stroke of a strategy here, beating those who have undercutted and overcutted. The Silva is going to be running one hell of a race. It's going to come home, exiting Mosport with a championship lead in both the International Series Standard and in Japan, in the English Cup. The Silva representing Kronii, the Time Warden. That's her race settled. She wins in Mosport. Emerson Kurt, despite his best effort, gets himself back up into 2nd. Cashew, after one hell of a topsy-turvy race, manages to finish inside the podium. It's a Lexus sweep. It's a Lexus 1-2-3.
Lexus podium, very, very impressive, especially with what Cashew had to deal with. Like you said, very topsy-turvy for him, a lot of conflict going on, a lot of getting his car banged up, but he managed to pull out on top. Very impressive for him to get into 3rd, even though he didn't really have a chance to get into 3rd place, he's still on the podium.
Yeah, we'll be taking a look into the final progress chart here at the moment. Kronii started 12th, now up to 4th. Cashew started 6th, now up to 3rd. The Silva and Kurt started on the 2nd row, now they're finished 1-2. Aaron-Masi started 11th, now up to 8th. Unfortunately for Brooklyn, despite qualifying on the front row, has now dropped down to 9th. Aaron Morton was starting on pole, finishes 7th. Tremblay was a good contender for basically in the top 5, but dropped down to 13th, unfortunately. Olivares and Lado also dropped down as we'll be transitioning over into the race results. Carolina De Silva, your winner here for the first points-paid race in Hololive GT3. Hats off to her. Emerson Kurt 2nd, Cashew 3rd, Brandon McCauley 4th, Keishan 5th, Shalake 6th, Warriors 7th, Aaron-Masi 8th, Brooklers 9th, and Kay Garcia rounds out the top 10. Azaman 11th, Evan Fuller 3rd, Maurice Tremblay 13th, Don Dra 14th, Olivares in 15th, Ledoux 16, Jason Fisher 17, Raymond Pavel 18, and Aziz Moazif, after having suffered that tangle on the first lap, basically becomes the first retirement in a points-paying race in the Hall GT3 International Series. So that's basically him down in 19th, unfortunately. But we're gonna take a look at this was what actually happened to him. So it actually got pretty ugly and nasty here. So look at this, Zeke. Let's see what you can think of.
Alright, Mazeph currently cruising. I believe what happened was they got into a collision, got their doors knocked up, and got shot into the wall. But let's see. Oh, it hits the curve really bad. Oh, and then goes backwards and gets lost into the middle of the track right there. Yeah.
So yeah, that
Mazeph
is
got.
yeah. So that is basically Moazif's race basically over on basically lap 2. It sucks for him to basically get knocked out this early into the race. But yeah, as we're about to get into the championship standings after the first race of the season, I want to hear your thoughts, Zeke, of the race.
That was especially that qualifying round, very, very crazy race right there. I'm surprised Wicklers could, despite his challenges, I've said this so many times, has still made it into a nice spot within the top 15. And I apologize, Mazeph, for getting the short end of the stick of getting your doors essentially knocked out.
Yeah, so a bit of a shame for Moazif. He had a good car, but it just wasn't meant to be here in basically in Canada. It's just not meant to be for him. So let me take a look into the championship standings here. The championship standings, it's pretty interesting here. Carolina de Silva wraps up the first round of the season with 200 points. 200 points. So she takes the lead over Emerson Kerr in second, Camishu in third, Bennett McConnelly fourth, Kayshawn fifth. And please note that this is the International Series standings and not the English Cup standings. We'll be updating this on Adak-RMS Twitter. Shalage sixth, Barry Moore seventh, and you see Aramazi 8th, Brooklers 9th, Kate Garcia 10th, Assam in 11th, Evan Fuller 12th, Tremblay in 13th, Dondera 14th, and Seth Oliver 15th. So all three drivers who have their home races have scored at least 8 points. So good job for them. For Mercedes, Jason Fisher, Raymond Pavel, and Aziz Moazif, their time inside the points will have to wait until they will have the second chance at Road America. So that will be the next round of the season. It will be in 3 weeks. So we want to have we'd like to thank everyone for tuning in into the stream. We hope everyone has enjoyed the stream as much as we do, and obviously we'll be looking forward into racing into the next round in Road America. So that with that out of the way, I am Muhammad Riza, and alongside me is Zeke Wimberly in the commentary booth. Thanks for watching the stream, and you've been watching the 2022-2023 Hololive GT3 International Series.